Welcome, everybody, to the final score. I'm your host, Nicholas Marcinov, and today I am going to be making my NFL Week 16 predictions. But I'm also joined by this joyful fellow, Chris, the Dolphins fan. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing okay.
Just okay. You're not jolly tonight.
No, because the Dolphins lost on Sunday or
Oh, get over
Saturday.
it.
Yeah, Sunday.
Get over it.
I'll get them over it eventually.
Eventually, you have a couple of days. Uh,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and tell everybody what the show is. Would you like to share?
Yeah, so this is a game show that Nicholas here is putting on for me and the other guys, his little brother and Tanner and DJ, who have not shown up once this season. That's
Everybody has
okay.
a reason
Yeah, everybody's got a reason, whether it's school, work, or
or
adult
other.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, but at the end of the season, whoever has the best score gets a jersey out of Nicholas's pocket.
My pocket.
Yes, his pocket or wallet, whichever one.
I've already bought tickets to go to Florida today, man. Like this jersey setting me back already. I'm already in the hole for 2023. Let's go.
Oh man.
All right. Well, with that introduction, let's go ahead and tell everybody how we're doing in the ranks. So right now, Chris, Ben is still in the lead. He's 142 and 82, followed by myself at 141 and 83. Then it's you. You're in third place. You're not out of it with a record of 136 and 88. So you're 6 games behind.
Peace.
Tanner is 125 and 99. He's just looking at 100 L's on the season, whereas DJ's had a very rough season. He's at 118, 106. I haven't done the math, but that's over 30 games behind. So
Yeah.
he might be eliminated already. But that's okay because it's a brand new week, which means that we can still figure out what's going to happen. And in this first matchup, this first Thursday night matchup, seems like a doozy, and you get to talk about it.
All right, so we got the Jaguars going to visit the Jets over in New Jersey. Um, and both okay, let me start off by saying that I don't think anybody imagined that the Jaguars were going to beat the Cowboys last week, and that was a surprise to everybody. The Cowboys are doing their traditional choking, but before the postseason, or yeah, postseason. And then the Jets, who, despite all year looking pretty good up until the last couple of weeks, looked okay, decent against the Lions last week, but they just didn't have enough to win it. They lost by a score of 20-17. And to be honest, after what I saw last week, I'm gonna have to give it to the Jaguars. The Jaguars are looking pretty clean, and I know they're like kind of the underdogs in a lot of games, and they somehow seem to pull wins out of their butts. But you know what? I'm gonna give it to them this week. They just seem like the better team because the Jets just, I think, have finally fallen from grace a little bit. They had a good start to the season, and then now they're just kind of falling apart.
I have to agree with you, man. Trevor Lawrence is my guy. Really like him and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they have a good thing going right now. So I'll go ahead and take the Jags on Thursday, which I would actually be really excited to watch this week. So let's go ahead and move on to our first matchup. I believe this is a Christmas Eve game.
Mhm.
Uh, while I'm breaking this down, can you just go verify? It is
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It is the Atlanta Falcons at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore, oh man, they had the worst game sandwiched between two really great games last Saturday. They did not look good. And what do you expect? Lamar Jackson is
It
not on the
is it is
squad.
the first Christmas Eve game.
Okay, so it is Christmas Eve game. And then the Falcons, they took on the Saints and they did not look good either. But the rookie has some promise. I don't know. It's a very weak promise. It's like somebody who says they'll get something done and then they'll immediately like walk away, and you're like, "Are you sure?" So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Battle of like nutrition here. If Lamar Jackson plays, I would definitely go with the Ravens, but I think I'm just going to be bold and say that the Atlanta Falcons are going to win this week. So I'm going with the Falcons.
Man, it both of these teams did poor, but the Ravens did even more poor against a very bad Browns team,
Mm-hmm.
where at least Atlanta had some life against the Saints last week.
Yeah, almost came
Um,
back on us.
yeah, I kind of agree with you because I don't know if Lamar Jackson's even going to be playing in this game, and if he's not, then I can't pick the Baltimore Ravens. But so
Now they look horrendous.
yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go with the Falcons too because it's just I can't be certain about the Baltimore Ravens right now.
Right, right. And also, just a fair warning to everybody who's listening: we are making these predictions on Tuesday.
Yeah,
We usually record on Wednesday, but we're doing this on Tuesday because, well, I got a life.
and I don't.
It's all right. It's all right. Let's go ahead and talk about this next matchup. Pretty excited for
Ooh.
this one, Chris.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this one too. We got the Detroit Lions going to the Carolina Panthers. Now, look, I know the Lions don't win by a lot, but they just have a fire in them. They want to win. Dan Campbell is just giving this team a pat on the back, a kiss on the cheek,
Tucking them in at
pause.
night.
Yeah, tucking them in at night. Just making sure that these guys know that they are appreciated. And then you have on the other side, you have the Panthers who, despite all like just have not been looking good. They're not starting Sam Darnold. They have I forgot what even their third string quarterback's name is. Well,
PJ
second string
Walker?
now. Pete is it PJ Walker?
I don't know.
Well, I think yeah, it is him. They cut Baker Mayfield, and I think cutting Baker Mayfield kind of pissed whoever well not pissed them off, but kind of made the Panthers even worse than they already were because they did lose. Trying to look for the game because I can't remember who they played.
The Steelers.
That's right, the Steelers. And the Steelers aren't really even that good of a team either. Like the Steelers just aren't looking too good. But I'm actually going to go with the Lions because the Lions seem to get it done week in and week out. Ever since I think what like week 6 or 7, they've been on a pretty like steady upward climb.
The Lions would be one of the most dangerous teams right now if they would have won all those games to start the season whenever they were putting up like 40 points a game. Their record should be so much better than what it is. Uh but yeah, I'm going with the Lions also.
They should only have one loss with that loss coming when Jared Goff didn't throw a single touchdown.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next matchup. It's the New Orleans Saints at Cleveland Browns, my two favorite teams duking it out. You have the New Orleans Saints who are coming off of their fifth win of the season against the Atlanta Falcons. And then the Cleveland Browns, where Deshaun Watson is now 2-1 in his return to the NFL. So in this game, the weather is going to be
Wait,
very, very freezing.
you said two and one?
Yeah.
Who did you lose to?
They lost prior to last week. So, hang on one second.
Because I thought last week was his return to.
No, no, hang on. You're making me do this, and we don't cut. They lost to the Bengals.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
Yep,
never mind.
you're good. You're good. So the Browns are 2-1 since Deshaun Watson has returned to starting quarterback. Deshaun has not been impressing anybody. The weather is going to be freezing, so it's all going to probably be like running play with very limited passing. Um, but this is where I have to say I'm picking the morals. Last time I picked the morals, did not work out for me. I'm picking the morals. I'm going with the Saints, even though I don't want it to happen because Dennis Allen needs to lose his job. But my morals.
I didn't go with my morals last time.
You're not going with them now, are you?
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm actually gonna pick the Saints, not because of
Oh,
not because of morals. I'm picking them because I'm looking at the scores last week.
yeah,
The Browns only scored 13
yeah.
on a very, very injury riddled Baltimore team. That says a lot. You guys have a lot better defense than the Baltimore Ravens, in my personal opinion. So I don't think Deshaun Watson and company are going to do much against you guys anyway. Morals aside,
But also morals.
yeah, the
Anyways,
little tiny sprinkle.
let's go ahead and move on to the next matchup. It's the Seattle Seahawks at Kansas City Chiefs. Little lopsided, little lopsided.
I'd say a lot of lopsided because I think a lot of people expected the Seahawks to beat the 49ers last week. And the 49ers went in and spanked the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Not by a huge margin, but for being a division rival, usually these teams are like neck and neck, and then somehow the Seahawks end up on top no matter what. But they're showing signs of vulnerability and going against one of the best teams in the league. I'm not going to really say much more. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay, well, so far we are going to be 5 for 5 because I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that they almost tied with the Texans, almost lost to
Oh
the
my
Texans at some
god.
points too. But like Kansas City, like Patrick Mahomes, he just finds ways to win games, and I do want to see the Seattle Seahawks from earlier in the season though. I don't like what they're turning into where it seems like the car is just running out of gas for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Um okay, perfect. Moving on to the Houston Texans at Tennessee Titans. This matchup is going to be absolutely crazy, and I'll tell you why. Because Ryan Tannehill, he's dealing with some type of injury, right? So last Sunday, he had to sit out for just a little bit, checking on his leg, his ankle, and then Malik Willis has to come in and try to take over. The team is not doing well. They don't have a lick of defense anywhere whenever the opposite team has an offense going. They don't have receivers to throw to. It's Derrick Henry who hasn't been himself. And then you have the Houston Texans who are like nitty gritty. Yes, they are just blowing everything up, and they're trying their best to just hold on to uh that first overall pick in the draft, right? I'm so excited because I hardly ever pick these guys, but I think I'm going to go with the Houston Texans just for the lulls. I think that it's a division rival. They've been playing the Cowboys and Chiefs really tough. Give me the Houston Texans to just like yeah, manhandle.
Why did you gotta do that? Because now we're 6 for 6.
Dude,
Because
gosh darn it.
literally after watching the Titans highlights last week, they just, like you said, their defense is just terrible. They got no offense really, and if Tannehill's not, he doesn't have any weapons to throw to. He's just doesn't have anything.
Mm-mm, nothing. Okay, well, 6 for 6. Yikes. Cincinnati Bengals at New England Patriots. I think we'll be 7 for 7.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm gonna straight out say I'm gonna go with the Bengals because the Patriots last week were pretty sloppy against the Raiders, and I'm sorry to say it, Tanner, but the Patriots just, I don't know, they are just on a downward spiral after having such a decent start to the season, and the Bengals they just keep winning, dude, and it's crazy because you know, you look at the Rams, who are the defending Super Bowl champs, and they are doing just absolutely terrible. Sorry, Mister Marcinov, but they are doing they are doing terrible right now. Um, but on the flip side, the Bengals are just having themselves a season again.
Yep. Yep. I'm going with the Bengals also. I'm not sorry, Tanner, but I remember 2 weeks ago whenever the Patriots won that like close game, he's like, "Oh, the Patriots are back." Well, they left immediately following that DM. So give me the Bengals. And then,
Oh
oh,
man.
I get to talk about this. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see this. It's the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. So both of these teams are coming off of
Oh, so,
relatively big
wait.
wins.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, but this is the first of the Sunday games, I think.
Nope.
Is this? It's still
It,
what?
I was just looking at that. On
Oh my
Christmas Day,
god!
there's only 4 games.
What the heck?
And the main event for the Saturday games are Raiders at Steelers. So that's going to be just like dog doo doo. Anyways, we're not there yet. Spoilers. Uh, New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. This game is going to be a little spicy because both of these teams escaped their opponents this week. They robbed them blind. So for the New York Giants, they took on that division rival, the Washington Commanders, who have been playing great. And then they got away with a pass interference call on the final play of the game
Which is total
against the
bullcrap.
Commanders. Watch the language, buddy. All right, nobody's arguing. Anyways, so the Giants they got away with a BC call. All right, well, that's what we'll call that. Okay,
PI.
BCPI. I like that. I like that. So they got away with a BCPI, and they won the game. However, then you have the Minnesota Vikings, who completed the largest comeback in NFL history. I did a hockey stream recently. What a game that was, dude. Like I don't remember what I did, but I couldn't watch the first 2 hours. Oh, I was getting an oil change. I couldn't watch like the first half. So I only started at the second half whenever they were already losing 33-0, and they just kept on going. Oh my gosh, that one just got me just so jazzed, right? Like just I want to do this. So the question is, who is more real? Is it the New York Giants or is it the Minnesota Vikings? And baby, Mr. TikTok compilation crew, you guys are always in the comments. Give me a skull. 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 Are
All
we 8
right.
for 8?
Yeah, we are going to be going 8 for 8. But I just wanted to let everybody know this is what Ben. If you don't know, Nick's little brother Ben is a Vikings fan.
Don't. I know what you're gonna put up there. Do not show the Randy thing. Don't show the Randy thing because you know what that is. Don't.
Okay, I
Don't.
won't. I won't. I will just say this, but I was at work when these two teams were playing each other, and all of a sudden, one of my managers was like, "Oh, dude, I don't know why I picked the Vikings. They're 33-0 right now against the Colts." And I'm like, "Dude, are you serious?"
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
like an hour later, I looked at the score and it was tied 36-36, and I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so the Vikings, I'm thinking the Vikings are more serious than the Giants. The Giants, I will give them credit. They did have a good start to the season, but right now they're on a downward spiral, just like the Jets.
Yep. Did you hear about the Atlanta Falcons fan who passed away, and his final wish was that Matt Ryan would be one of the pallbearers? Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was so that Matt Ryan could let him down just one more time.
Thank God.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Jesus, that's dark.
Yeah. The first time I heard that, it was substitute Matt Ryan, but with the Cleveland Browns. So you could just
Oh man.
interchange. Anyways, moving on to the Buffalo Bills at Chicago Bears. You're up.
Well, what's there to say? The Bears actually looked pretty okay, I guess, against
Yeah.
the Philly or baseball on the mind again. They were looking pretty spicy against the Eagles last week, and the Eagles just I don't know, they didn't look too hot last week, but the Bills are out for blood. They are out for blood right now. They will go through anything. what was the gimmick 2 years ago? What would in a fight a buffalo or
or
a
a bear.
bear?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a buffalo is probably gonna win this time.
If it was a real matchup, give me the bear all day. But because it's Justin Fields going up against Josh Allen, I'm gonna take Josh Allen.
Yeah, guys got wheels.
9-4-9. And this next matchup, I don't see us going different either.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Jesus.
So we'll keep it brief. It's the Washington Commanders at the San Francisco 49ers. Commanders, like, both teams have really good defenses, but it's going to be like the offenses. You have Brock Purdy, who is doing really well right now. And I think that just goes to show that, like, 49ers have really good weapons that I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't fully utilizing, or at least they're opening up more plays because of Brock Purdy. Whereas on Washington side, all of their players feel like B to B plus players. Nobody feels like that A plus. The only person on the squad who I would probably say is an A or an A minus on their Washington Commanders offense is probably Scary Terry McLaurin. Outside of that, everybody is just kind of like in that B range. So they're limited at what they can do. I'm going with the Mr. Irrelevant who can do no wrong right now. Give me the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, and this matchup is kind of interesting too because the Commanders and the 49ers have two of the best defenses out there, but it comes down to who's got the better offense, and 49ers definitely have the better offense.
Yep. All right. That's that for that pick. Let's move on to a
Oh
very
boy.
interesting game. It's the Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, so we got two teams that, well, one narrowly escaped a pretty bad team, and the other one got defeated by a pretty bad team. Eagles, as of right now, we do not know who their starting quarterback is.
Now,
Jalen Hurts is dealing with a shoulder sprain. Gardner Minshew apparently was let go. Well, not let go, but he was dismissed from practice. So we don't know who their quarterback is going to be. It's up in the air. Um, it this is the one thing that I hate about recording on Tuesday is
yep.
that everything's just up in the air, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the Cowboys just because I don't know who the quarterback for the Eagles is.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, man. I think that without Jalen Hurts, the Cowboys need to feast. And if it's Gardner Minshew, like, I like Gardner Minshew. I think
Oh
he's
yeah,
good. But I do think that the Cowboys are going to take advantage of this opportunity. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Hang on one second. Let me just go ahead and make it official.
was that 10 for 10 now?
Yeah, or 11 for 11. One of those. 10
Yeah,
for 10.
10 for 10.
All right. So hang on one second. Cowboys. Okay. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is the Saturday night Christmas Eve matchup. This is going to be horrible. I'm sorry, DJ. Which team do you pick? Because the Raiders got so lucky off of that pathetic they tried to do the miracle play and just threw it to the Raiders guy for the pick six to end the game. What a horrible, horrible play that was. And then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers who actually showed up against the Panthers of all teams. Like, I can't gauge either one of these. And so, in the spirit of Christmas and gifting, Chris, I want you to make my pick.
You want me to make your pick?
That is my present to you.
Oh my god.
Make my pick. Now, you can either obviously screw me over, which I think you want to do, or you can actually give me a fighting chance.
Man,
Or
you
the
know,
third option, you can make it spicy and go with the tie. But you have full control.
man, I'm trying to think of like what team I want to pick. Now I'm gonna choose your team too. My
Yep.
God. Um, I'm gonna
Do
give.
do 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 do.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you. I'm gonna give you the Raiders just because I want to go with the Steelers, so we have something different for once.
Perfect. All right. I'm going with the Raiders. That wasn't a fluke. That went all according to plan last week. Let's go, Raiders. Hang on
Oh my
one
god.
second.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the Raiders, like, yeah, they won last week, but it, they didn't look too good either.
Yeah, well, we will definitely have to see what happens in this one. Okay. Green Bay Packers at Miami Dolphins. You're up.
All right, so the Packers just they won against the Rams, which like again I'm sorry. Rams are terrible this year. God knows why. Half the team's injured, the other half is on vacation in the Bahamas. Maybe the other quarter got lost in Bermuda or something like that. And then the Dolphins, this is just barely lost to the Bills last week in the snow globe game. Tua looked pretty spicy. Um, uh, Tyreek Hill was not on his best game, but he went on to apologize to fans, saying that he wasn't on his best game and that he would do better this week. But the whole team is just looking pretty spicy. I'm going to give it to the Dolphins. I mean, old man Rogers, man, he's just not looking too good himself. Looking like an old man.
I'm going with the Dolphins also. I don't have the Dolphins logo, so give me 1 second because I want to have some Finny fun. There we go. Here's the Dolphins logo. Finny fun. I love it. Okay.
All right.
Let's move on to oh gosh, what a horrible, horrible game this is going to be. It's the Denver Broncos at the LA Rams. And I just read online right now that Russell Wilson is going to be starting week 16 for the Broncos.
Oh Lord.
Despite, whoever came in last week for them played a great game, was actually able to put up points. You're going back to the guy who can't get past 18 or 17. And then the Rams, like you said, look really bad. The defense is just shot. Like nobody's doing their part. And then Baker Mayfield, I know they had the miracle win against the Raiders, but so does Jeff Saturday. So I have to go with the Broncos, and I hate saying it, but they're the better team this week. Oh, that's disgusting to say. I'm
My
going with the
ears bleeding just from
Broncos.
you saying that.
Oh God, it left a bad taste in my mouth, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna have go with the Broncos too. Um, when push comes to shove, the Broncos got the better defense. So, yeah.
I I'm really starting to think that we're going to have all the same picks this week, except for the Steelers and
I
Raiders.
know, right? Because
What a
a lot of these games are pretty clear cut. I mean, for the most part.
For the most part, but so was Cowboys and Jaguars, and you saw what happened.
Yeah.
Uh, let's go ahead and get to our second to last matchup. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Arizona Cardinals.
All right, so you got Tom Brady, TB, tuberculosis, um, going to the dry rub, and both of these teams just okay. More so the Cardinals because, like you said earlier in the season, the Cardinals can't win at home for whatever reason. Um, Maybe the dry rub needs to go somewhere else and maybe become the moist rub or the semi-dry rub or the wet rub or I don't know. But then you have Tampa Bay, who, despite being under 500, is still in the hunt for a playoff spot. Tom Brady, like you said earlier, let his 17-0 lead go, and again, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. They are the better team. Cardinals are looking booty butt cheeks.
Yeah, I'm also going with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, dude. Like death, taxes, and Cardinals to lose at home. That just seems to be the three guarantees in life.
Yep.
Okay, then last matchup, it's going to be the LA Chargers at Indianapolis Colts. You have to think that after the massive loss against the Minnesota Vikings, where they were up 33 to nothing. I don't know if we mentioned that game at all tonight. Um,
I don't think
but
so.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't see how it would come up. Um, I feel like yes, that has to be just like traumatizing on those guys, but it also has to be like we put up 33 points against a 10-3 squad uh in the first half. Like we can do something whenever we're all on it. So it's a little bit of an ego boost, but ultimately, like you guys choked hard and you deserve all the ridicule. Um, but no one gets it more than Matt Ryan. Gosh, dang it. I don't even feel that bad for him. He was a former Falcon. Um, and then you have the LA Chargers, who last week they did they win? They did. They beat
Yeah.
the Titans. They got off easy going up against the Titans, but they don't look like they have a good defense either. I'm still going to have to go with the Chargers though, just because I can't trust the Colts, and now it's because I can't trust them with a lead. So sorry, Jeff Saturday. You said I might be good with my job or I might be bad. You're bad. You're gonna get fired, and then you'll be on this show.
Yeah, to make it a solid 15-1 for us having the same picks, going with the Chargers. Colts, I'm sorry, they just I mean, when when you have a lead that big and then just hand it to the other team, it's pretty bad.
Yep.
It's pretty bad.
I can't wait for us to have all of these incorrect.
I know, right? It's like we go one and you go one. No, we both go 1-15. That's gonna be something interesting.
We can't both go 1-15 because we have all the same ones
Oh, except for one.
except for one. So it would
Oh,
have to
sorry.
be 0-16 one of us and 1-16, or maybe like 2-6. Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
doesn't
Uh,
matter.
all right. Well, happy holidays, Chris. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I hope you had a good time on the show.
Oh, I did,
And
as always.
I want to say thank you to everybody else who tunes in. Got my last video to over 100 views. That was amazing. So thank you guys so much for doing this. We enjoy doing this every week. Next week we'll be back for our week 17 predictions, and that's the final score. Thank you and good night.
Merry Chrysler.